step into the eerie darkness of England's most haunted places, where restless spirits linger in the shadows. These terrifying tales will leave you questioning what lies beyond the veil. 1. Royal Hospital Haslar, Gosport. Royal Hospital Haslar, built in 1753 on the seafront of Gosport, once stood as a symbol of hope and recovery for soldiers. With its vast grounds and state-of-the-art medical practices, the hospital became a sanctuary for those recovering from injuries. However, beneath this image of tranquility, dark spirits remain trapped in the hospital's walls. The galley, where food was prepared for the staff and patients, is known for frequent paranormal activity. A clairvoyant who has worked at the hospital reports that 3 spirits are particularly active in this area. Michael Connolly, an Irishman who apparently died at the hospital, is said to enjoy the food there and play tricks on the staff, while Derek, a vengeful spirit who met his end through a stabbing, is a more malevolent presence. But the most tragic and unsettling ghost is Margaret, a woman whose untimely death haunts the spiral staircase. She tripped over something before the staircase was built, and the fall led to her tragic death. One night, a wardroom steward claimed to have encountered Margaret on the stairs. When she asked the elderly woman if she needed assistance, Margaret simply vanished into thin air, leaving behind only an eerie chill. Both Derek and Michael are known to make their presence felt, and kitchen staff report hearing strange noises and feeling watched as they go about their work. This hospital, which once brought healing to so many, now holds the restless souls of those who will never leave. 2. Croxteth Hall, Liverpool. Croxteth Hall, a grand estate in Liverpool, has witnessed more than its fair share of supernatural events. Built for the Sefton family, it was once a place of power and influence, but its halls are now haunted by the restless spirit of the 6th Earl of Sefton. Staff members have reported seeing his ghostly figure wandering through the old tea room and his former bedroom. Many believe that he is searching for closure, or perhaps for a place to rest after a life filled with responsibility and duty. One chilling encounter occurred when a guest, staying in one of the rooms, saw the Earl standing at the foot of the bed. When they attempted to speak with him, the figure faded into the cold air, leaving the guest startled and unnerved. The Earl's apparition is often accompanied by a sense of deep melancholy, and those who linger in the rooms where he once lived feel as though they are being watched. His spirit seems drawn to the places he once loved, unable to break free from the confines of this grand home. Croxteth Hall now stands as a memorial to the past. Yet it is the past that refuses to leave, with the Earl's ghost still pacing its rooms. Some believe his restless wandering is tied to unresolved issues from his life, keeping him eternally bound to the estate, forever searching for peace. 3. Creslow Manor, Aylesbury. Creslow Manor in Aylesbury is home to one of the most tragic and restless spirits. The ghost of a young maid who died under mysterious circumstances haunts the manor to this day. Witnesses have reported seeing her ghostly figure drifting through the corridors and rooms, her pale face obscured by the long veil she wore during her lifetime. Her presence is often felt by guests who stay in the manor, as an oppressive, cold air fills the rooms. One particularly unsettling encounter occurred in the library, where a visitor reported hearing the sound of footsteps behind them, only to turn around and find no one there. The maid's ghost seems unable to move on, perhaps tied to the estate by her untimely death. Some claim that she can be seen standing by the grand staircase, staring out the window into the garden, her expression filled with sorrow and longing. Her spirit is often accompanied by faint whispers, the sound of her soft footsteps as she walks the halls, forever trapped in the place where she once lived. Many believe that her death was no accident, but rather the result of a tragic betrayal, making her spirit all the more restless and unable to find peace. Over the years, those who have tried to communicate with her have been met with eerie silence, her presence only amplifying the mystery surrounding her death. 4. Basingstoke Canal, Aldershot. The Basingstoke Canal in Aldershot has long been a site of strange occurrences and mysterious sightings. Fishermen and walkers who frequent the canal have reported seeing bizarre lights in the sky, and on rare occasions, even strange figures that seem to appear out of nowhere. One of the most disturbing stories is of a fisherman who, while camping near the canal, was approached by two small men dressed in tight green suits. They invited him to board a UFO that had appeared nearby, and despite his growing sense of fear, he felt compelled to follow them. The strange men led him aboard the craft, but when they spoke, they told him he was too late, and just as quickly as they had appeared, they vanished, leaving the fisherman standing alone by the water. Over the years, many others have reported similar encounters, with glowing lights and unexplainable phenomena surrounding the canal at night. Locals now avoid walking along the water's edge after dark, convinced that the canal holds secrets not of this world. The strange phenomena that occur here have left many wondering if they were witnesses to something paranormal or perhaps something beyond human understanding. The area remains a hotbed for supernatural theories, with some claiming that the canal itself is a portal to another realm. 5. St. Lawrence's Church, Alton. St. Lawrence's Church in Alton is a site of history and horror, where the echoes of the past still linger in the air. During the English Civil War, a royalist colonel and several of his soldiers were imprisoned inside the church and subsequently executed. Their spirits have never left. Many visitors to the church have reported hearing the sounds of battle, with the clashing of swords and the desperate cries of soldiers filling the air, especially on stormy nights. One visitor claimed to have seen the ghostly figure of the colonel standing at the altar, his face twisted in anguish. As they approached, he disappeared into the shadows, leaving behind only a lingering sense of dread. The church, once a place of worship, now stands as a battleground for the souls of those who were lost in the conflict. The sound of footsteps on the church floor, as if someone is walking towards the altar, is a common occurrence, and many believe the spirits of the soldiers are still fighting the same war, even in death. Some have even heard the faint clinking of armor or felt the chill of spectral fingers brushing against their skin, adding to the sense of unease that envelops the church. As night falls, the church seems to hold its breath, waiting for the battle to resume. 6. Atherfield Coast, Isle of Wight. The stretch of coast between Atherfield and Blackgang on the Isle of Wight has long been a place of mystery and fear. The most frequently sighted ghost in the area is a sailor, seen wandering along the cliffs, wearing a long coat that flutters in the wind. His appearance is often accompanied by the sounds of the sea crashing against the rocks, and some say that his ghostly figure seems to be drawn towards the water, as though he is searching for a ship that will never return. Locals tell of a tragic shipwreck that occurred centuries ago, and they believe that the sailor was one of the victims, doomed to wander the coast for eternity. On foggy mornings, the apparition can be seen more clearly, a lonely figure walking along the cliff edges, his face hidden by the mist. Visitors who have stayed in the area report feeling a strange sense of loss and sadness, as if they too are mourning the sailor's fate. His spirit seems trapped on the cliffs, forever bound to the sea that claimed his life. It is said that on the anniversary of the wreck, the ghost of the sailor becomes more active, appearing more frequently and even whispering to those who venture too close to the edge. Some believe his ghost is a warning, urging travelers to stay away from the perilous cliffs. 7. Hartwell House Hotel, Aylesbury. Hartwell House Hotel, a historic mansion in Aylesbury, is home to the ghost of its former owner, Lee, who is said to haunt the library and garden of the estate. His ghostly figure is often seen standing by the window, looking out at the grounds, his eyes filled with melancholy. Many guests report feeling a cold chill when they enter the library, and some have even claimed to hear the sound of footsteps behind them when no one else is around. One guest reported seeing Lee walking through the garden, his figure fading in and out of view as though he was struggling to stay connected to the world of the living. The garden, which was once his sanctuary, now seems to be a place of eternal sorrow for Lee, as his spirit is unable to leave the estate that he loved so much. Those who have spent the night at Hartwell House describe a sense of unease that lingers long after they have left, as though Lee's presence is forever etched into the fabric of the house. His melancholy is palpable, with visitors sometimes feeling inexplicably sad or reflective after spending time near his former haunts. It is said that Lee's ghost searches for something, perhaps redemption, or simply a way to reconcile his earthly existence with the afterlife. Some believe that Lee may never find peace until he comes to terms with his past, and the sense of longing he carries with him remains a haunting reminder for those who dare to stay within the estate's walls. 8. Boot and Slipper Public House, Rickmansworth Road. The Boot and Slipper Public House on Rickmansworth Road is a charming old establishment, but it hides a darker secret beneath its inviting exterior. The pub is haunted by the ghost of a former landlord who died tragically in a fire. His spirit is often seen wandering the upper floors, checking on the rooms as if he were still tending to the needs of his customers. Staff have reported hearing strange noises coming from empty rooms, and some have even seen his ghostly figure standing near the fireplace, staring into the fire with a sad expression. One evening, a guest sitting in the bar claimed to have seen the landlord's ghost standing by the stairs. When the guest approached, the figure simply faded away, leaving only a lingering sense of coldness in the room. The pub, which once provided warmth and comfort to its patrons, is now haunted by a spirit that is forever tied to the building. Those who stay overnight report hearing strange sounds and feeling as though they are not alone, as though the landlord's watchful presence still lingers. Some patrons claim to have felt an invisible hand on their shoulder, only to turn and find nothing there, further adding to the eerie atmosphere that surrounds the pub. 9. Dalston Hall Hotel, Carlisle. Dalston Hall Hotel in Carlisle, Cumbria, is a place of great beauty and history, but it is also a site of eerie happenings and unexplained phenomena. The hall is home to several spirits, the most disturbing of which is a non-human entity with long clawed fingers that is often felt by those who venture into the wine cellar. Guests who have stayed in the hall report feeling a cold, oppressive presence, particularly in the cellar, where the air seems to grow thick and heavy with each passing moment. Other spirits, including the ghost of a former craftsman who worked at Dalston Hall, are said to roam the halls, still searching for something lost in the estate's past. Several visitors have reported seeing the craftsman standing in the doorway of a room or silently observing them from a distance. The spirits of Dalston Hall seem to be trapped within its walls, forever bound to the place where their lives came to an end. Some even claim to hear whispers or see shadows moving in the corner of their vision, only to turn and find nothing. The hall's paranormal activity seems to intensify during storms, when the atmosphere grows thick with tension, and the spirits seem to be more restless than ever. 10. Aston Sandford Church, Buckinghamshire. Aston Sandford Church in Buckinghamshire is a quiet, peaceful place, but it is also the site of a haunting that has endured for over a century. The spirit of a 19th century pastor is said to appear near the pulpit just before the evening prayer, his presence sending a chill through the congregation. He is often seen standing still, as if preparing to lead the prayer, only to vanish moments later, leaving behind an overwhelming sense of sadness. Several churchgoers have reported hearing the sound of footsteps in the nave, as though someone is walking towards the altar, but when they look, no one is there. The pastor's ghost seems to be caught in a loop, forever awaiting the evening prayer that he once led. Those who have visited the church after dark describe a feeling of profound loneliness, as though the spirit of the pastor is still watching over them, even in death. On some occasions, visitors claim to hear a faint voice calling from the pulpit, as if the pastor is attempting to speak to them from beyond the grave. His spirit seems eternally tied to the church, forever present, yet always just out of reach. Got a haunted location that gives you chills? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more spooky stories, let us know where you'd like to explore next. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Creepy Experience for more terrifying tales.